Okay, I have never played this game before. I was under the impression that the title was pronounced Recettear, as in racketeer. That's a joke on that. I understand it's from the same devs that made Chantalise, right? Which is the name of two characters in it. I think this is also the name of two characters, Recette and Tear. So maybe it should be pronounced Recettear. That seems to be the word of God. Like the localizer said that, and I guess the original game, it looks like that. But, you know, whatever. 1 second. This is my first time playing it, though. I don't know anything about it. I guess all I've heard is that you're playing like a traditional RPG, except from the perspective of the person who sells the items, as opposed to the adventurer that goes to the store to buy the items. So I don't know if it's entirely a capitalism RPG, or if there's any, like dungeon crawling gameplay, so no idea what to expect. Excited to check it out. Let's give it a try. Sleepy protagonist. I'm not a big fan of it, Game Saucer. That's why I did it as a parody for the Marstead stream. So this game is unofficially localized, but sold on Steam? Or did the person who localized it, like, pay royalties to localize and sell it in English? Oh yeah, we did. Wash your face and make yourself presentable. The game's clearly very cute. Capitalism, ho! It is an official localization? Interesting. I wasn't sure from the configuration tool and like it mentioning the localizer on the title screen. Establish a stock of items for the store. It's the town market or the merchant's guild. It was an indie localization company. Okay, I see. To grovel. Give our polite regards to the guild chief. Sounds good. Currently located in the upper right-hand corner of the store. But I wanted to leave through the window. Okay, cool. I like the art style. It's like 3D world. The cool 2D sprites. Just learning what all the buttons do here. Is there a menu button? Left bumper, okay. Payment due 10,000 picks on the 10th. Merchant level 1. Items none. Encyclopedia nothing. Options. I might turn the page turning sound down a hair. Go ahead and save. Oh gosh, okay. They're limiting my options. It's good. Merchant's Guild. This action will not take any time. Oh, that's interesting. Yo. Girl in a ferry. You're Recette and that loan shark. Not an incorrect assessment. Got an opening today. Sure did. Hey, thanks, Plaster. 13 months, thank you, that's awesome.
You're super awesome. Thanks, appreciate that.
What is the guild? Guild is essentially a group of people in the same kind of business who cooperate with one another. Your store, Recettear, is already in the books. What can I do here? Get goods for a set price. Go dungeon stomping yourself. Okay, that's a thing. About merchant levels. Figure out how to redecorate or expand your store. I don't know, that's cool. Buy, sell, and trade. Hunting for fat loot. Oversized loots. That must have been tricky to localize. Probably just a completely different joke. Praise be to seekers of all that, of course. Okay. Pub only opens in the evening. Guild's almost always open all the time. Alright, good to know. How do you find time to visit the pub? Okay, so there's a little bit of... I guess it would make sense that there'd be some meta commentary on RPGs in general, right? Oh shit. Yay, event skip. Thanks, escape key. About unknown items. If you go dungeon diving, you'll find a lot of stuff which you won't be able to identify. Find a lot of what are commonly called mystery ingredients. Be able to sort out the stuff you find, pick the best materials and whatnot from the lot. I know, right? It's probably why Undertale is so popular in Japan. Million works of fiction where you live in an MMO. Fusion. Okay, that makes sense. Come back often. Got it. I guess I should mention I'm going to try to only read out loud the stuff that, like, keywords or lessons that I take from the text. I am reading everything that pops up. Capitalism ho. Adam Smith would be proud of us at any rate. Alright. Back to our shop. You're watching a stage musical where a delusional character is making Dragon Quest sound effects? I guess it's that penetrated into the cultural zeitgeist of Japan, huh? Whenever a good's out for people to see, we can only expect the customers to buy them. Primary button? You'll understand it when you try it. Change how they perceive the store based on where I put stuff. That's interesting. Sure, what's up? Sort of thing that makes you think, I want to buy this more than anything. Oh, that's clever. That's why it's a face of the shop. That's clever. I wonder how much... you probably have to see the Matrix in this game to get how that mechanic actually works, like what it translates to. Let me see if I can clear this mouse cursor. It keeps wanting to reset back onto the screen. My bad. Bread and swords is what we sell. Please go sit at the counter. Learn how to sell things without embarrassing yourself. Greet them with a nice big welcome. Greeting the customer helps them to feel comfortable and relaxed. Also lets them know that you know that they're there, so they can't rob you. Could I get this, please? Oh, item details. Base price. Okay, that's helpful. See the name of the base price. Place close to expanded information. Okay. Consult the custom.exe program included with Recettear if you wish to check or alter your button configuration. Focus reset. Does reset mean like receipt? Base price serves your default. To raise your offer, press up. Customer is satisfied with your offer. There's a sale and you get a little bit of experience. Aren't you going to haggle? Hi, Ben. Offer a price, but don't make it so outrageous the customer feels you're not acting in good faith. Okay, they're willing to haggle longer if they're regular. That's cool. Just play the entire haggling clip from Life of Brian. Hi, Ben. I'll likely end up haggling a little. Reduce a customer's desired price and go from there. Stores tend to sell at about 30% over base. Okay, that's a helpful number for me to see the matrix. Could you make it a little bit cheaper? Technically cheaper, but still high. It would be up to the temperament of the customers whether or not you make a sale. Okay. I would like this, please. Go a little lower. Over long haggling will anger customers. Try again. Okay.
しようかな。いくらにしようかな。そうですね。ありがとうございました。売れたよ。
Alright. Now, I guess I'll figure this out, but I'm wondering if every customer has a secret number that's true from the beginning that I'm trying to suss out, or whether haggling will actually bump up the value that they're willing to pay because of the psychological effect of having initially wanted to charge a higher amount. I don't actually want to know the answer to that. I'm trying to figure it out.
いらっしゃいませ。いくらにしようかな。いくらにしようかな。そうですね。ありがとうございました。売れたよ。
Ask me anytime we're in the shop. Okay. Ben, you're being very cute, and you picked a good game to snuggle on because I don't need both hands. Tried doing this on Sekiro the other day. They handle them in the same way we just practiced. Okay. I feel like the problem is I'm gonna trend towards if I drive the customer away, then I get no profit at all. I'd rather get a guaranteed 30% profit on every item than play risky. I'm sure that's a legit way to play, but...
いらっしゃいませ。いくらにしようかな。いくらにしようかな。
Hey, and we got some XP, that's nice. I sold walnut bread. Good job. Lady saw the sword in the window and came in and was like, you know what I want? Bread. What a store. Yay, look how happy she is. Papa? She's got a tragic backstory. I am wondering why you started an item shop at all. Is it because of your dead father? I do want to know how you and the fairy lady first met. She gave you a big loan. She's like Tom Nook. More or less evil? Easy Game Station presents. See if I can turn on the cat cam here while Ben's being cute. Aw. I want to run an item shop. Because this unspecified fantasy country has very lax child labor laws. No. Haggle and snuggle. So little. Is he though? Fairy loan sharks know how to work permit offices. Collecting on her dad's debts, maybe? Recette lemongrass. Agent of the Term Finance Company. Yup, that's exactly what's going on. How nice of the loan shark lady to help me learn how to earn the money. Oh, that's funny. He's out fighting a dragon. Following a fracas atop the local volcano. Oh, man. I'm almost positive that her dad is still alive. He's gonna come back at the end of the game. That's specifically a reference to the intro in Dragon Quest III. Is the Dragon Quest III protagonist the one that shows up in a lot of other games? That's rumored to be in one of the Smash DLCs, Erdrick? I haven't played it. If I can survive with only 2 internal organs. If I eat a lot of spinach, that can replace my blood. But I don't want to be a sailor. Again, localization challenges, right? Probably a different show or something. Replaced with a Popeye reference. Ben, you are the only kitty in the world that likes belly rubs. Every other cat tries to mangle you if you touch their stomach. Nani? Never worked a day in my life. I'm only like... She looks like she's like 6. God. Alright. Child slavery to pay my father's debts. Right, Aki. I feel like Tear's time can't be particularly valuable if she's willing to spend all these hours training me how to pay this loan back instead of just seizing the house. A capitalism hoe. No kidding. I also know what item store. I wonder what Tear's hourly wage is.
A nuclear weapon.
Blitzball.
Awaken the
Store?
Sailors.
Landi, the language of Chinese.
Black car. Metal Gear.
Store should be on there. Yeah, right, Leon? All I did was threaten to take away everything she ever knew and loved. Wow, she's being nice, it sounds like. Oh, you're making a little shop sign. That's cute. She just assumes that they're gonna go into business together. Our shop sign. You sure you've thought that through? Put Recette and Tear together and Recettear. Hey, Kubo, how's it going? She's upset that it should be pronounced like Recettear. Oh, mispronounce it even slightly and Recettear. Racket. Okay. I guess that's supposed to be the word of God's advisement on how to pronounce the title. But even that sounds like, oh, Recettear, if you mispronounce it, then it would sound like Racketeer, right? She says shit a lot. So sleepy. Clock does not have a good morning hand. So what does the gozaimasu in Ohio gozaimasu mean? Is it just like a way to make good morning more formal? Formality suffix? I see. I have an item shop and stuff, and it's all cool and awesome. It's up to your judgment. Elsewhere. Guess I'll go look for something else to do first. Next will not take any time. Going to a dungeon will take 2 periods of time. Let's do all the stuff that takes no time first, I guess. I've been there, Yukupo. Probably have the map of the areas you've been to burned into your brain, too. Charme made of a dried seed from a distant land. Seed rattles slightly when shaken. One's at the chapel, and one's at the town square. Market's nothing worth buying. This is the Adventurers Guild. Unapproval adventurers can't visit the dungeons. Okay, that makes sense. Still a good idea. A great many people made fortunes that way. First have to hire an adventurer. Oh, they don't go on the adventures. Okay, that makes sense. So little. Hey, Isla, how you doing? I see. Kind of like being invited to a dinner party. Almost exactly the same thing. Just the opposite of that. Dinner parties don't include Blood Mad Fest. I'll do my best to get a dinner invitation. Nice. Pay attention, Recette. Listen to me. Can't work, I can't get the money. Can't get the money, I can't get the items. Hall of Trials, huh? We have to make a loan to him first, possibly. Guild doesn't allow anyone in off the street. You can only work officially for the guild after passing a test. Item shop owner is hardly the only job with challenges. What?
どうすっかな。
ちょっといいですか？
We're a pair of merchants who happen to be passing. We heard you complaining. Way too broke and seedy to buy anything. You can tell by your seedy nature that attempting to sell you anything would be a colossal waste of time. This is really well localized. I'm impressed with it so far. I assume the original game is also quite funny. Funny games are really hard to localize well. That's part of the struggle with, like, Earthbound. If you pass the trial, you provide us with your card. Sign of our eternal friendship.
Yes.
Yosh. Yayifications.
Ah, yoroshiku na.
Louie the swordsman. Okay. Yeah, but I have no money. I spent all my money on stuff earlier. So we might be in trouble. We'll see. Aerith and Bob. I don't think I can actually get any restorative items, can I? Balance and easy to control. Uses sword, shields, and armor. Nothing. Oh, you can go sideways in the shop menus. Oh, thank you. I didn't see that. I appreciate it. Okay, I can buy a couple foods, I guess. Hey. Alright, let's see how that goes. Alright, Ben, you're very cute, but I'm gonna turn that off so I can... So this is the dungeon. Welcome to the jungle. Are we just gonna hold Louie back here? Protective field around the two of us. So the monsters, we may as well be invisible. That's helpful. You need to worry about monsters, but this is accomplished by making us virtually intangible to everything inside this place. Can't manipulate anything. Okay. Okay, you can't take anything else back if he gets injured. Got it. Much as our bags will allow, bags aren't bottomless. If we run out of space, it'll be up to us to decide what to keep or discard. Oh, cool. I didn't know that there was a fighting mechanic to it. Oh shit, I guess I shouldn't press buttons without knowing what they do. Alright, I wasted his SP and it doesn't look like it comes back. Nice crit. Of course we start by killing slimes. So I thought the entire game that they would like do an abstraction of dungeon crawling and like the whole game would be from behind the desk, so that's kind of cool that there's a combat part too. Seven chain.
こいつ
Summer sandals. Nice crit. I'm still nursing some allergies today, so I might have to wipe the right side of my face a couple times. It's not because I'm particularly touched by attacking slimes in a dungeon. I didn't see the ingredient before. Okay, keep an eye out for that. What caused the protagonist's SP to refill? Was that just from him gaining a level earlier? Level up. Level up, okay. Slime fluid. Nice.
ちゃんとついてこいよ
This is pretty fun so far. Digging it. Supposing that the dungeon is randomly generated too. Oh, shit. I like that there's bonuses for doing side versus back attacks. That's cool. Traps that you have to worry about. Word sword +2. Nice. What are they saying? Nice crit. Cute little map in the corner. So I guess we'll see how it actually plays out, but I would expect that like dungeon crawling is the best possible way to make money in this game, not arbitrage from selling stuff in the shop. Will I know when I'm out of backspace and shouldn't continue delving? Wool hat. Are you alright? If I check the menu. Optimal equipment. Okay, so it says 10 out of 20. Once I get to 20, then I'd probably need to bounce or start tossing stuff. Oh, and I can throw out the stuff from the higher floors when I get further down. Gotcha. Got covered in Ben hair now. I already spent the time to go to the dungeon, I see. Very, like Darkest Dungeon or Persona-like in that respect. I've already consumed resources by going, so try to get as much value out of it as possible. I see. Most of the dialogue is just a commentary on what you just did. I like the idea of there being different adventurers that you contract with that have different stats. That's pretty cool. Oh, the ad got hit. Nice crit. you level up, you get a full heal. That's good.
くらえ
アイテム拾ったよ。
やパパややパや
罠です。
It's a trap!
くらえ
Got it. Okay. Nice.
さて、行きましょうか。よし、行きましょう。
やや
No Yosh. Alright, or let's do it.
罠です。
Yeah, me neither, Yukubo. I was pretty surprised. I thought it was all shopkeeping and that the adventuring part was abstracted. It's pretty good combat. Optimum equipment's pretty trustworthy in this game. I guess we'll see later on if there's like gear that has added effects. Yeah, at least this early on is probably fine, I would assume. I think my shield worked there, but I'm not sure.
アイテム拾ったよ。
Oof. Everything's fine. Yeah, I'm on board. I bet the simulation element is cool too.
レベルが上がったよ。
It's an interesting twist that it's not the item shop girl who's actually exploring the dungeon. Am I right that if an enemy throws a ranged weapon at me from the front and my shield is facing them and I'm not attacking, that it blocks it? I couldn't tell if that was actually happening that way or not.
大丈夫ですか？
I guess I could let them throw something at me and test it, but... Can't carry anymore. Alright, I see. We don't know what ingredients are until we leave, right? The stuff I brought with me counts against his inventory. Interesting. And I can't know the relative value of objects until I leave. I can't, like, appraise stuff. Oh wait, no, it does tell me base price. Okay. But I won't know for question mark ingredients. I see. I throw it away, it just falls on the ground, so I can pick it back up later. Egg toast from a slime, I'm sure, is going to be worth lots of money. I guess ability to appraise stuff that was on the ground would be cool. Orange +1. Rearrange, that's helpful. The adventurer has his own inventory. Okay. Does the arrange by default put the most valuable stuff up? No, not necessarily. Okay. Summer sandals +2. Great. Yeah, citrus is worth 7 times as much as a walnut bread. Alright, so apparently I can't delve indefinitely. Maybe that's not always true. Did I do it?
やったぜ
Sweet mystery of life.
そんなことありません。
There's no need to treat me like a flying ball of greed. On the contrary. I feel you on this.
いや
The punch card?
と
Not so crass as to demand your very first card. That's nice of you, dear. Aw.
おいよろしくな
まったく。
Young people. Goho? Dora Return. Oh, is that a Dragon Quest reference? Or something? Like there's some other game where you have an item called like a Go Home or something. Persona, okay. They don't call it that in the English localization, do they?
でも、
Maybe they do and I forgot. Goho M, I see.
そうですね。
Turning home takes time. Leaving ends the current contract with our companion. We should have to rehire him and choose a new one. Be sure to avoid referring to this as going home. Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
I guess the whole dungeon delving element is pretty Persona-y. Now, why was it 21 out of 20 at the end? What is it in Disgaea, Aki? No one's out here still. Pub's nighttime only. Chapel is daytime only. Okay, I guess that makes sense. And these have multiple stages too now that I see. Okay. So, stuff will sell to merchants at the base price, and I can try to sell it for more in my shop. Alright, so some of these items were unidentified when I found them and are identified now that I've left, is that right? Emergency exit. That's pretty silly.
お疲れです。お疲れ様でした。今日は頑張りましたね。
Exceeded expectations.
おはようございます。ちょっといいですか？
What's up? Paying it all back at once is wholly beyond your means. Smaller weekly payments will slowly chip away at it. Wholly beyond. This is because you would faint if you found out how big his debt was. For now, it's a secret. Uh-huh. That sounds like sound activity by a financial institution. Okay. Oh, 10,000 on the 8th.
どれにしようかな。
Try to get ahead of that if I can. This be a slime fluid store. Light, dark, plain, or gouty. Interesting.
どれにしようかな。何をこうかな。どれにしようかな。何をこうかな。何がいいかな。何がいいかな。何がいいかな。どれにしようかな。何をこうかな。どれにしようかな。どれにしようかな。どれにしようかな。
10 francs and at least 1 dot.
お店開けますね。いらっしゃいませ。
There's a lot of people coming in.
いくらにしようかな。いくらにしようかな。ありがとうございました。売れたよ。
Cool.
いらっしゃいませ。いくらにしようかな。
100.
ありがとうございました。売れたよ。いらっしゃいませ。ね。
I see that you can make this pretty quick if you're smart about it.
いくらにしようかな。
I'm going home. Remember, that's not always my fault necessarily.
どうしようかな。
Putting the shop takes 1 period of time. Screw that. I have to sell some really good stuff, apparently.
何がいいかな。
Do stuff that doesn't cost time, right?
どれにしようかな。何をかな。どれにしようかな。どれにしようかな。どれにしようかな。何がいいかな。なんでしょうか。何がいいかな。
So I need to build my meter eventually, but for now I'm just in a dungeon delve. I guess the merchant XP is to keep you from just doing the Adventurers Guild over and over. That makes sense. Though I guess he's offering me significantly less than what I can sell for. Well, alright, so he offers way less than base price. I didn't understand that. Gotcha. So it's not, I'm not just making a 30% profit, necessarily. I'm potentially making a much higher than 30%. Okay. Can I leave stuff behind, or do I have to use the shop to store stuff? Wait, did I waste time by leaving and coming back? Shit, I didn't mean to do that. I thought I would only spend time if I went to the desk. I misread the thing on the map. Like pie. I thought I'd keep your attention if I made it similar to a sort of sweet food. You can only act between morning and night. When night ends, you need to go to bed. Decide in advance what you need to do. Opening the shop consumes a slice. Yeah, okay, that's good to know. Should have saved before I had reload. Do a lot when I leave the shop, unlike what I just did.
ここ重要ですよ。そうなの?
Can only leave at an early point in the day, like not now. Okay. Got it. I should start saving really frequently then too. Hi K. Let's try to only sell the expensive shit, right?
何がいいかな。
It's interesting that the +2 still sells for the same amount.
何を置こうかな。どれにしようかな。どれにしようかな。どうしようかな。お店開けますよ。いらっしゃいませ。いくらにしようかな。ありがとうございました。
Hey, thanks. Do I get more merchant XP for selling higher, making a bigger profit on a given item? Alright. Combo.
こんにちは。いくらにしようかな。いくらにしようかな。ありがとうございました。売れたよ。
Cool. So you get about 3 customers every time you open, it seems like. It's cool.
どれにしようかな。
And I guess you have a reason to want to sell stuff at night rather than because you have nothing else to do, so you may as well sell the stuff you've collected. It's cool. So that orange +1.
何がいいかな。どれにしようかな。どれにしようかな。何がいいかな。はい、何ですか。何がいいかな。何がいいかな。何がいいかな。どれにしようかな。どれにしようかな。
Nothing else really sells for anything I care about. Okay.
どうしようかな。お店開けますよ。こんにちは。いくらにしようかな。いくらにしようかな。
Don't underestimate a housewife.
ありがとうございました。売れたよ。いらっしゃい
Go
ませ。
team. I do like how quick they made this. They could have made you wait a really long time. It's kind of them not to do that.
いくらにしようかな。ありがとうございました。売れたよ。
Now, question. Are individual portraits representing the same
お
customer?
やすみなさい。
Or not necessarily? Like, there can be multiple people, individuals with the same
今日
portrait?
は頑張りましたね。明日もこの調子でいきましょう。さあ、仕事しますよ。今日も頑張っていこう。
Sex, sorry. Portrait equals customer. Okay, so like the fact that I had that portrait show up twice in a row meant that that was the exact same person, and I had already learned something I could apply to them.
どれにしようかな。何がいいかな。どれにしようかな。どれにしようかな。
So, I missed the answer earlier, if someone answered. Is there a place that I can deposit stuff? Or I pretty much have to sell it to get rid of it? True. I've never played Moonlighter before. What kind of game is it?
行ってきます。
Adventurers Guild is closed. No, shouldn't have left the room. Fortunately, I just saved. I have unlimited inventory space. Okay, so I won't bring stuff. If I've brought something back from a dungeon, it's never going back in the dungeon with me, is what I was worried about. Maybe it's based on this then, Donovan. This came out in 2010. I have to choose to bring stuff back into the dungeon, but it doesn't do it by default. Okay. So that's how it works. Quite. Unthankful statue. Alright, we'll try doing the guild again tomorrow. Can't bring items you have on display in your shop, which is annoying. Does putting things on display matter outside of like open shop windows? If that makes sense? So like, can you technically put everything you want on display open shop and then take it all down? I guess you just have to do the hassle of that. Oh, I see what you're saying. Because going back to grab them, sure. It's the fact that you only get 3 customers each time you open the shop means you should be careful of what you choose to list. So while you do this, you kind of figure out who's a sucker, I guess. Level 2! Sold my orange +1. That little girl is awful. This guy prefers lower prices. Oh, I'm getting significantly more customers this time, that's good to know. It's cool, it's a guy that I know, and it's seeing whether it's an upgrade for him. Guess I could use that to push a higher price on him, potentially. You have no idea what the cost is when you find it. You have to keep adjusting prices based on what people think you're ripping them off. It's cool. Sometimes people want to sell items to you. That's cool. Sometimes customers are idiots. Individuals don't have set prices. You can haggle as you do when selling. Haggle down. Press down. Same as selling something. Same general rule, plus or minus 33% based on buying or selling, I assume. 50 to 70%. This isn't the reality of an RPG item shop, which will always pay nothing for your items when you sell them. Got it. She's more or less reasonable. I wonder if they actually care about psychological elements like putting it right under 1,000. Customer service seems to be a lost art. Fight me, lady. It's offering you a pretty good deal. Alright, so I guess, I don't know if I'm going to be able to figure this out without knowing from people that have played this game a lot. Do all customers have a price that they're secretly willing to pay, and this minigame is figuring out what that price is? Or can you influence this price that they're willing to pay based on what you offer first? Because like in real life, someone might say, I'm only willing to spend $50 on shoes. But if you say, we have a sale, these shoes are supposed to be $500, but we're selling them for $100, someone will go above their budget because of the psychological effect of making them think that they're saving $400 when what they're really doing is spending an extra $50. I don't know if that's modeled in this game. Pay about the same percentage, can vary slightly. So, under the hood, the amount that I offer to begin with does not affect what secretly they're willing to pay behind the scenes, right? That number exists and is not in flux based on my choices. It seems like the benefit of haggling with them more is getting closer to the price they're willing to pay, right? It doesn't actually change the number behind the screen. Combo gets you extra XP, but not extra money. Sleep time. Exceeded expectations. Alright, let's see if I can go... Extra XP if you buy sell multiple times in a row without them refusing the price. Oh, I see. So not just haggling, but getting them to accept it on the first go. Oh, it tracks your time. That's cool. So are the gems that enemies dropping take up no space and give you rewards as well? They're basically just raw coins, picks. Oh, it's XP. Okay, so the only thing that's worth money is items that drop. That's interesting. And his progress to leveling up is the circle around his portrait. So I should probably spend all my SP or take risks when it's close to filling. And play safer when it's further away. Okay. Is there an incentive for clearing the dungeon quickly? Rather than, it looks like enemies respawn on a floor, it feels like it makes sense to fill up your inventory first. It looks like a track time. Yeah, it's just for fun. Doesn't do anything. Okay, good to know. I'll try to go for maxing out. Now, when I load into the dungeon, it tells me floors 1 to 5. That means I can be fairly sure that there's only 5 floors. Is the floor with the giant treasure box at the end the 5th floor, the bottom floor, or is it like a final floor in addition to those? I'm wondering if I should just try to speed my way down to the deepest floor and then farm the enemies down there until I fill up my inventory. So, when I go into a teleporter, I don't know whether it's going to be taking me to a dead-end floor, right? It's a risk I take. Or was the dead-end floor unique to the Hall of Trials? Nice crit. Yeah, in the first dungeon I got to a floor that had a single treasure chest in it with a card, and I could not progress further. So if I had gone straight there and not farmed until my inventory was full previously, I would have wasted inventory slots. That's what I'm trying to avoid. Shit. Mistimed that. Was that unique to that first dungeon? Normally I can just keep going for a really long time. Is the value of question mark ingredients generally higher than stuff that has an identifiable price? Or is it just completely random? Seems like there's a risk-reward element there of keeping question mark ingredients versus fixed stuff. I guess what I would do from an optimization perspective is just try to like go straight for the teleporter every floor until I get to the penultimate floor, and then farm on the penultimate floor until I fill up my inventory and then go and finish it. I didn't even see that thing. Shit. +3 slime fluid. I see it. It's dodgeable. Check. Based on where the shadows are. In dungeon select, you pick floors 1 through 5. Yeah, that's what I was asking earlier, but I think Retro was saying it could be longer than that. So I do know for sure that floor 5 is the final floor. Now, is floor 5 the actual dead-end you can't progress floor, or is floor 5 the last floor with enemies on it, and then 6 is where I get the chest? So I'm on 4 now, so should I proceed on the assumption that this is the last floor and fill up my inventory before I go down? It's a bomb! Kaboom! Nice crit.
イテム拾ったよ。
Whoa. That's a funny trap. Okay. Tuna trap. Well, just to play it safe, I'll max out my inventory here before I go downstairs.
アイテム拾ったよ。
Hopefully I can expand my backspace later.
大丈夫？
Rabbits. Chestnut +2. Alright, there's a level up. Allergies are the worst. Ugh. I really do like the core gameplay loop of this. I get it. I think the beginning of this game was really familiar. I think I may have started this game and gotten to the point where they started doing the flashback of how they got the shop and like completely lost interest and turned it off. I never saw the dungeon delving. Because when I went to go buy this game after it won the vote, I already owned it. I'm like, oh, that's weird. I don't remember buying this. It must have been like a long time ago and then before time of my Steam account. Well, this is the second dungeon. The first dungeon said, in the future you can choose to take the door or keep going. Here we go. Possibly. I had heard of it before stream. I wish you could still do that. It bums me out that you can't. The whole gift inventory thing was really nice. I still have a bunch of games in mind. Legacy. So find out here if a floor ever completely taps out. Alright. Traded up walnut bread +4. Alright, so it looks like you can kill all the enemies on a floor. That's good to know. I had this stress of like I only get so many days, so I should just farm forever. Oh shit. Totally not a Dragon Quest mod. Oh, I see how it works. Do all the damage to the slime by... Oh shit, don't let that happen.
大丈夫ですか？
First try. Cool. I see it now. I can keep going down.
さて、行きましょうか。頑張ってください。
Gotcha. Unfortunately, those bugs die quickly. Gotcha. Let's see. Still only worth 100, huh? We may as well eat it then.
アイテム拾ったよ。
Right. I guess the old gift inventory sort of drove people abusing things like Humble Bundle, right? Breaker Sword. Oh, nice. 14,000. Damn. It's more than my payment for the week.
大丈夫ですか？
Must be a really rare drop. It's order of magnitude more than just about all the other loot I've found. Okay, so the shield does work that way. Good to know. I really like it. It's nice you get that in the dungeon.
罠です。
You can just use it right away. Ice physics trap. That's cool. If you stop, though, you can't keep exploring. Like, once you stop, you have given up on the dungeon for that day, right? Oh, a really lucky drop. Go really far down now.
レベルが上がったよ。
Here's a level up. I guess I should look for chests on every floor, so that's where all the value comes from. Alright, that's all. Oh, I just noticed the two little things in the corner there. Two different sorts of special attacks, I guess, I can swap between with X. I'll try it when I get closer to a level up, I guess.
さて、行きましょうか。よし、行きましょう。大丈夫？
You... Dirty wasp. She said it's a bomb. Do enemies ever drop equipment? I haven't noticed so far if it's already happened. What an armband.
Yeah.
They do. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Seems like your highest value stuff is gonna come from chests, though, right? It's okay to not know. I see. Shark fin? Was that gear? I thought that was food. Oh, I guess it is. It's a cooking commodity. I guess it's still high value, so it was worth killing something to get it to drop. Kind of like the question mark ingredients as a way to make you leave eventually instead of just continually throwing out cheaper and cheaper goods. I guess you can throw out the question marks, but once you've identified something from a question mark, do you then know what that item is forever or not necessarily? Also, if he's using the sword right now because it dropped, does that mean that I get it, or does he keep whatever he had on him when I leave? Charred lizard. That's worth more. Shell necklaces are pretty good. I get the sword. Okay. Can't throw away an adventurer's possession. He buys it from my shop, he'll equip it. I see. I do like that element of like getting a really cool item and having to decide not to sell it because you'll want to use it for dungeon delving later. That's clever. Cool. What does the kill chain do? XP? Now it's gonna start getting hard to toss stuff. So the reason to take question mark stuff is so that whenever I come back in the future, it won't be a question mark, and I'll be able to make a better judgment of whether to keep it or not. Or is it more that it's just random and it could be something that's worthwhile? I see. Let's go. Rusty dagger. Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty fun. That scratches my dopamine itch. Trying to reveal all the question marks through grabbing as many of them as you can in the dungeon.
Yeah.
I like that the items stay on the ground indefinitely. You can choose before you leave. Boss fight again? Hey, Reginald Drisby, mouse with a grudge. Okay. He's got a big crowbar for some reason. Alright. Alright, bosses can get hard, turns out. Right, he gets tired after a second. Good to know. Oh, but he heals when he does that. Alright. X. You kill ads to level up for health back. I'm smart about it. He runs away. I assume he's going to heal. Oh, he's eating the mushroom. Oh, clever. I see. I didn't realize I was doing to heal last time, so I can keep the poison mushrooms up. Clever, clever, clever. News. SP consumption halved. Oh. So there's little modifiers to floors as you progress. Get it. So is all of the loot on deeper floors strictly better all the time, or is it just it broadens the table so that stuff that's on the higher end can become available? It seems like I can still get garbage on a late floor, right? That's actually worse, isn't it? I guess it's better. Might just use that bread real quick. Average goes up, but you can still get junk like that walnut bread. Sure. So I missed it last time when I cleared a dungeon with a bunch of unidentified items. Is there like a summary screen that shows you what your unidentified items were all along? Or you can tell what they are from like, oh, I don't recognize that. Oh, that's cool. Teleport trap. The day summary should show what they were. Okay. That's always one of my favorite dopamine loops in these sorts of games. Like, even in just an RPG that remembers whether or not you've scanned enemies. Like, feeling like, oh man, I'm gonna scan all the enemies. If I do it once, I never have to do it again. You know? And once I know what the unidentified stuff is, I can not loot it next time I come in. Very exciting. What the hell is that? Alright. Gotta start making some hard choices soon. Toothpicks. A set of simple, sturdy toothpicks. Can double as sewing needles in a pinch. Don't stab yourself. Okay. Shit. Didn't mean to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Ahriman, everybody's favorite enemy. Should consume those before I leave the dungeon here. Or leave this floor, I should say. It's not possible to opt out of the experience that's dropped from an enemy, right? It always sucks into you, no matter how far you are from it. Sure, but if I re-enter, that consumes an additional day. Right. So I'm trying to maximize the value I bring out on a day, and I can always come back in on the later floor on an extra day. At this point, I should probably start leaving question marks behind. I'm gonna try to get to 15 and then bail, I think. Yeah, and there's the possibility that some of my question marks are duplicate items, right? So I'm not getting that satisfying feeling of, oh, now I have that identified forever. That's a very clever reward loop on the part of this game. Like, it feels like there's a lot of degenerate player strategies. The game adds specific systems to try to disincentivize. Those guys are dark nuts from Zelda. So, like, just staying in the dungeon forever until it kicks you out is disincentivized by the question marks. I think that's smart.
Yeah.
I think that's useless, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
From my perspective, if I could be 100% certain that all question marks were unique and it would never drop two of the same one, then I would just stay in here and fill my inventory up with almost nothing but question marks. You lose everything if you can't beat the boss, right?
Yeah.
There's shark fin. Not that I could really drop that's worth more though. Maybe the longsword. Ouch. Ahriman's magician's staff. The same as the longsword I dropped earlier. Since we've been in here for a while, I might want to grab some food items. I can't. Can I tell from the inventory whether an item is actually able to be eaten? Because I think I found some food-like items like chestnuts that I wasn't really allowed to eat. This is kind of a spoiler, but it'll help me to prepare. Do bosses always have ads? Like an unlimited number of ads? The two I've fought have, but I don't know if that's always true. I don't remember if I left any food behind on this floor. Not yet. Food items in their own category. Like under equip, maybe? Oh, I see. Recovers SP, that's why I can't use it. I see. Okay, so shark fins are just ingredients. Okay, I should probably pick up some real food then before I leave if I can. Food goes together. Okay, thanks. That's good. Toothpicks plus useless statue. Probably use that though. Yeah, it recovers HP. Got it. Hooks drop toothpicks. Kaboom!
ちゃんとついてこいよ。
頑張ってください。
Yeah, let's look for chests first. Special inkwell. Ingredients. Might try to get close to level 15, but not quite there. Assuming that the boss has ads that I can abuse. Ooh, longbow. Oh, I don't think that's actually that special. It's slightly more special than my staff. What about the batwing? Probably not great. Oh, never mind. Right on. Ow. Ice physics trap? Pretty frustrating with this particular enemy. The white makes it harder to see where they're gonna pop out too. This is the worst trap. I think it's one of the only ones I've seen so far that lasts forever. Okay, it doesn't last forever, it just lasts a really long time. Good to know. Oof. shitty dagger.
アイテム拾ったよ。
I'm gonna make it to the boss and die after all this. Anti-venom. Now I'm kind of hoping for a food drop, so I don't have to use my level up to refill on health before the boss. I guess we'll see. I kind of like the strategizing you have to do, and I sort of see why you wouldn't just only ever use a single adventure. Because like the free, effectively free progression you get from leveling up is a limited resource that you start to run out of as you get too high of a level. Use that. Remember that's there. There's a cherry southeast room. Cherry. Cherry. Mule. Yeah, I'm gonna wait until I kill all the enemies. I guess it would give me a full heal right now, so I don't have to wait. Or it wouldn't give me a full heal, but it would heal me to the furthest extent of its potential. Chocolate bar? Probably recovers SP.
アイテム拾ったよ。
Chocolate bar. Only worth 5.
アイテム拾ったよ。
Let's see. Didn't see what it was. What it did. SP. Candy is SP. Hi Ben, welcome back. You're very cute.
アイテム拾ったよ。
No one can deny it. Nice crit. So I love you too, Ben. Alright, I think I'm gonna take the cherry and see if I can save it through floor 14. Yes, please.
頑張ってください。 大丈夫ですよ。
Mushrooms didn't recover health earlier, if I recall correctly. So I'm gonna get the full heal from the level up here, and then I'll save the cherry for the boss fight.
レベルが上がったよ。
Oh god, the tuna trap. It's too bad, I got the level up right as I got hit by the tuna. Bummer.
大丈夫？
Nah, I took some damage anyway. What even are the tentacle things? Good question. I wish I had a timestamp on the question marks I've already picked up, because I assume the ones further down are better. Or have the chance to be better, at least I should say. Alright, another cherry. Use that before I go. Keep those on the ground for now. Thankful statue. Worth quite a bit more. Oh shit, I need to press that. I could probably eat one of the other SP recovery items that are in here. Kind of remind me of the, I forget the name of them, the Zelda enemy. Choo-choos. Nice. Totally calculated. Less calculated. This is a big floor. There you go. I'm gonna have to use both of the cherries on this floor without bringing them down to the boss. That's okay. Things could be worse. Ropers! Thank you, Islua. Yeah, that's actually it's a D&D enemy, so I think I've seen that in several video games. Good call. Oh, it's just an ingredient. Okay. Thought anything that was food that I wasn't able to eat before is because I was at max SP, but I guess not. Oh right, another cherry. Lucky. Oh, there might be just enough XP on this floor. Some more honey. Right. Yeah, so I've got good damage, but not good armor. Haven't really gotten any armor upgrades down here so far. Just that breaker sword. Got a bunch of upgrades in the first dungeon. Yeah, in the first dungeon, but I sold it. I didn't really understand how the mechanics worked with finding stuff. Right, he's got the scrap plate +2 now. He bought the side plate. That's the best case scenario if he buys it from you, right? Because then not only do you get the money from it, but then he'll be wearing it in future adventures without you having to remember to grab it. Shit. I keep pressing B as like a cancel button, activating my attack by accident. Alright, well if the boss has ads, I have a decent chance of leveling up off them for a free heal, depending on what his deal is. That's fun. The adventurers have a lower chance to appear in the shop, or is it based on what you have in the window or something? Alright, I think it's probably time after I kill this last enemy to go find those cherries. Aw, that was a very cute little meow, Ben. Bye, Ben. It was nice. Part of this game is like, how high is your pain threshold for optimization? Pretty high in my case. I'm glad this game won the voting and wasn't like a subblock game, because I would feel bad doing this on subblock, but I won the vote, I don't care. I'm walk around in circles. Kill all the enemies. Okay. The shell necklace is worth 2,000, 2,400, and honey is worth 2,300. I might dump a random ingredient to get the other cherry for the boss fight. If I can find it somewhere around here. Mm-hmm. I might give him the sword for free if I get a chance to sell it, even though it's worth like 14,000. I don't have to keep carting it with me. I thought I had another... Is there an actual limit to the amount of crap that can be on the ground? Oh, no, never mind. I found it. Guessing the answer to that question is no. Alright. I have no way of knowing the order in which these dropped. I think. I don't think it's like newest is closer to the top. So I will just drop one. Hope for the best. I should drop two. Twin identified ingredients is less punishing than everything that I brought with me, right? I should go eat that honey in that case if I'm not going to bring it with me. Do that real quick. That's such an... That game has few obscure mechanics. I think Chrono Trigger is really high up there for being a game that you can almost completely solve without a guide in an era where that almost never was a thing. You can 100% it just naturally. But the jerky thing is pretty obtuse. I think it was like down here, right? I should keep whichever one's a higher plus. Marty, you are not a graceful kitty. Beg you to not climb on stuff and jump around. You're gonna shatter this tempered glass desk at some point. Ooh, cutting it close. I thought I was about to get the level up there. Man, alright, well, the boss has one ad. Try to keep it alive as long as possible. Let's figure out at least any different quest. Oh. I see. Yeah, I don't know if I would be able to figure that out. Pretty sure somebody told me about it, or I looked it up on Game FAQs at the time or something. It's a, mimic. Can go deeper next time. The living dungeon phenomenon. Nani? Oh, Jim Jim. She a boss? Charme or Charme? Lady Thief. Time to cut some fools. Nice crit. So much for the ads thing, right? Nice. Charmy? Okay. Are you okay, miss? I'm mortally wounded. I can see the far shore. Take this wound ointment. Did you have that on you this entire time? She is the only round, strange object currently present. Nice. You should stop by our item shop. Nice. Like how Louie gets no dialogue in here. Sweet. Alright, I can probably dump a cherry.
アイテム拾ったよ。
Very odd vase. 21,400. They just get a kid to doodle on it? Let's save. Oh, as it was prior to entering, okay. That makes sense. You can't cheese. Hey, Yahan, that's the dream. Falling asleep that early. Okay, can't go to a dungeon. Flashing stuff means there's new stuff there. What's up, Louie? Struck dumb. Praying for heaven to provide me with lunch.
あれ
でも ちょっといいですか?
Try a stew. What's going on at the pub? Is alcohol yummy? No. Beer XKCD or whatever. I think my favorite of those alien comics going around on Reddit is the one that's like, "Here, drink this. It's our oldest liquid. Thank you for not drinking it." But barrels. Alright, cool. Alright, so I think I'm just gonna hold on to that sword. So what's the downside to just holding onto the sword and bringing it with me every time versus selling it to him? If I sell it to him, it never takes up a slot in my inventory. Yeah, the localization's very impressive. I'm surprised by that. Given that it's really hard to do funny games like this one.
どれにしようかな。何をこうかな。
Shark fin. Shark
どれに
fin.
しようかな。何をこうかな。
Build the castle breaker. Yeah, sort by price would be nice.
どうしようかな。採点するね。
Yeah, with the money from selling it. I have a feeling he wouldn't be able to afford it though.
参ったな。
It's kosher for an employee to give a customer a face like that. Welcome! She's so nice. Oh, if you die, you lose it. But you don't lose it if the hero buys it? I shouldn't have even put the wool hat out there, son of a bitch. Just combo.
お疲れです。お疲れ様でした。今日は頑張りました。
Exceeded expectations, no kidding.
仕事しますよ。今日も頑張っていこう。
Let's go adventuring again. That girl. No. Keep this nonsense up and I will leave you behind. I should save. I want to see the stuff that I found. The unidentified stuff? Huh. I guess it was all boring things like fluids and insect traps. That's a bummer. I guess I knew what they were later when I got further down, huh? Completion rate 4%. Wow, yeah, if I wasn't streaming this, I'd probably want to try to max that. In the anti-venom. I thought I had found anti-venom before. And I've definitely found water, shroom, slime fluids, and insect traps. So it doesn't necessarily mean that that item will always be identified going forward. Yeah, I'm enjoying it so far, Zapdos. You don't know if anyone's done it legitimately? Now, I still can't descend lower. Is there a benefit for me starting higher and going all the way down? I guess to get items that I missed up there. And I can't know for sure whether I'll be able to go further down or not, I guess, right? Not the bees. Being able to just pick up stuff again feels good. Probably not better than what he's already got. Yeah. So I don't think I understand unidentified stuff yet. It mentions something about how the higher level you are, the fewer items will show as unidentified. I'm just trying to figure out how I got a bunch of items that I had already seen before. Because they were like plus versions of the same items or something. Huh. Interesting. So, getting another dungeon that I can delve deeper into isn't going to be something that happens as a story consequence. It's not going to be as a result of me running this one repeatedly. Yeah, if it's the latter, getting it normally or as question marks, in that case I feel like it's almost never correct to pick up a question mark. Furball +3. Whoops, wrong. Yeah, I followed that part. When you exit with the question mark, it's revealed. maybe question marks draw from a wider loot table, so it's a risk-reward thing that you could get something unusual. I guess it may have been its last run was unusual that I got pretty much all low-value loot that could have dropped anyway in the same space. So I'm wondering if it's just that every enemy has a loot table, and something rolls, and then there's a chance that that item could roll as unidentified. You know, which is a different mechanic from the unidentified table being separate. Arcs and story stuff, meeting characters, forming better relationships. Okay. Cool. Compared to the stuff that I left behind to keep the question mark stuff, it's pretty bad. A lot of stuff in like the 2,000 to 2,500 range. I didn't see that clip. Yeah, I'll have to check it out. Is it also true that the dungeon's gonna have a max level? It mentioned that it like will scale to me, sort of, but I think they don't go much higher than level 8, right? Back scratcher. 1600, nice. Special powers. More for fusion. Have I unlocked fusion already? It was in the Merchant Guild tutorial, but I didn't see where I could go to do it. Shit. I see. I think my plan is to check for chests on every floor, and then after revealing the map, go down until we get to the final floor, and then farm for a bit until we have a good set of items. I like that attacking grants XP in addition to doing damage, or in addition to killing enemies. Louie's kind of turning into a badass lately. Check with tier and it tells you what each level you have unlocks. Oh, okay, that's cool. I guess I didn't realize that you got unlocks from leveling that up too. That's cool. I'm probably more stressed out than I need to be about optimal usage of like time steps. Guessing that doesn't matter too much so long as you're able to pay your rent on time. Worn sword.
アイテム拾ったよ。
Rope builders. Yeah, right. Who doesn't love Luigi ice physics?
レベルが上がったよ。
Mm-hmm. But you can't immediately re-enter, right? Because it costs 2 time steps to come here. But you can re-enter it on the next day, basically. Warp chest. Warp zone. I guess they did level up to 9. So maybe their level is a function of my level. And so that's based on the floor that I'm on, it's also possible. If you do nothing but the dungeon, you can enter twice in one day. Oh! I didn't realize that. I thought the way the pie slices worked, I had to go on step 1 or step 2 of the day, so it would be impossible to go in twice in a row. It's good to know. Gotcha. So, like, if I left now, I could come right back in, basically.
大丈夫ですか？アイテム拾ったよ。
This is also a spoiler, but am I ever able to expand my backspace? If not, that's okay, I'm just curious.
大丈夫ですか？
Oh, alright, so now I really want to go sell stuff. Before I was like, why would I ever want to sell stuff? I can just go in the dungeon all the time. Nope. That makes sense. It's Daijobu, are you hurt? Or something similar. Don't try to eat this. Okay. Hey! We got our iron armor back. Daijobu means okay. Are you okay? Or is everything okay, I guess, if it's basically like saying, is it okay? Desu is or to be. Ka is like a question mark. So Desu Ka is it? Sort of. You just don't pronounce the trailing U at the end of most Japanese words, or you say it so quickly as to be practically inaudible. I think that's correct. Daijobu is what you say if you sneeze. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Still hasn't topped Sumimasen. Greatest phrase, word in any language.
さて、行きましょう。頑張ってください。
Alright, Lady Gaga Tatayo. No, I don't know what she actually said. Bat wings are worth a decent amount. That's cool. Taiyaki is 1100. Nice crit. Everything else that's worth like nothing, I do. Probably the lizards. I can start dumping soon. Son of a bitch. Sandals. Now, if he's carrying something temporarily, is it counting against my inventory limit? Or does it go above and beyond my inventory limit? Oh. Alright, the iron armor makes a pretty big difference there. That's cool. I'll have to read the item descriptions more, Death Johnson. Ow. Oh god, don't let the Haramon hit you with that. Just be magic defense. Everything's fine, nothing to worry about. Yeah. That's what I was saying. Desu or Des is like, to be or is. Chinese Mandarin has a question mark sound as well. It's ma in Chinese instead of ka. I think it's the same character though. I should have done a better job of filtering my inventory before I got to this floor. I didn't realize I had so much stuff that was worth like less than 1,000. I should be junking stuff at that point. Now what I don't know is if I have to fight the boss again when I go down another floor. Probably have some healing items just in case, even though I've got better armor now. It's not expecting you to go 15 floors in one shot. Hand knit muffler. 3,000. That heart mark though. Alright, so you're saying I can go... I guess I had already done something partway through that day. Never mind. Do adventures like alcohol that much? Right. Neither is the to be verb in Mandarin, although it's used quite a bit differently in Mandarin than it is in Japanese. So, sure. Alright, there's a quest wall. Please help me find my lost kitty. Can I hire someone to stand in a ticket line for me? Please kill 10 crows around the garbage dump. Green item offered. Nice. One of you hot studs be my... That's funny, making fun of adventurers doing stupid quests around town. Love to help someone find their kitty. Only those registered with the Adventurers Guild can legally take on such requests. That is a bummer. I love how they play that out as a joke. A cute girl like me could end up in all kinds of peril being out at night. Oh heaven, a hoodlum! Hoodlum's gonna steal my cuteness. Poor guy. So, do seeing the flashing town events, does that progress the story, or is that primarily flavor text? That's not a reason I wouldn't do it, I'm just curious if they, you know, have mechanical triggers or not. Good night.
今日は頑張りましたね。明日もこの調子でいきましょう。おはようございます。何を置こうかな。
Alright. And the Adventurers Guild is only closed on holidays, on Sundays, is that true?
セーブします。
Some do trigger things. Okay. That sounds complicated. You can use all of these things, right? They all go into charms and scarves. They can have like between 2 items in that area, I guess. Alright, let's try to go through this one faster now. I'm just trying to learn how to do it best. I guess scarf is a slot, isn't it? Oh shit, we're actually almost at time. I lost track of time because I was having a good time. Let me just try to rush the door then. Get as much stuff as I can, knowing there's no boss. There'll probably still be a profit regardless. Because if you save inside a dungeon, it just takes you right outside, right? Rusty dagger, great. My favorite trap. Now that I desperately need an exit, I can't find it.
ちゃんとついてこいよ。
よし、行きましょう。拾ったよ。
It's another rusty dagger. So, some of the items in this game have the same sprite, right? Like, there's never gonna. If I see that sprite, it's always gonna be a rusty dagger. Then we're gonna be like a super dagger based on it. Come on, exit. That might be an upgrade? Yeah. Iron armband, right? Ow. So far, I don't think, at least monsters don't seem to drop gear, but maybe like the knights do. Accumulate enemies, I should say. Nice. On Netflix? Oh, okay, I thought that was already out in Japan. I think that's where he already has a wooden shield. We're at time, but I'm gonna try to get to floor 15 so I can get out of here. I know, right, Death Johnson? Earlier it was like, I kept finding the exit immediately, and was like dicking around forever, but now it's always the last room that I want. It's okay, I don't see it taking us over by more than a few minutes. I love that it's them too. Why are there so many tuna traps on this floor? Ow. Hulu is worth it. I mean, it's annoying that all these companies are reclaiming their works that were previously on Netflix, but we had to get Hulu for Futurama alone. Bin fan, that's new. One more floor. Mostly here for the chest anyway. Windbreaker. That wouldn't be a iron armor upgrade. Alright, well that's pretty good timing that I ran out of space here. Do you have to watch commercials on Xbox with Hulu? Huh, I don't have commercials on Roku with Hulu. It's wild. Greedy. Wooden chess piece. Ugh. Arimons, man. She could throw out his muffler. That's so bad. Guess I'll get a level up before I go. Huh. Interesting. I've never had commercials on Hulu. I've got it on Roku though. Weird. Yeah, it's super annoying. I guess that's how cable started. Kitties are so hungry. Alright, this game is fun. Thank you for adding it to the sheet and everybody for voting it up. We will be playing it again next week. Let you guys know what's coming up for the rest of the week.